OpenOffice Mail Merge Labels, Part 1, Creating and Managing a Spreadsheet Address Book. Mail merge procedures vary a great deal. The techniques will need to be adapted if you are using something other than OpenOffice. So I'm going to open up a sample spreadsheet. You can download that from my website if you don't want to create your own. I'm going to go to File, Open, and in my library's Documents Class Examples, we've got our sample addresses, and I'm going to say Open. Okay, first let me hold my Control key down and make this a little bit smaller by scrolling with my mouse wheel so that we can see the entire fields. And up here we have title, first, last, address 1, address 2, city, state, zip code, country, phone, cell, email. You can have as many fields as you want. You're going to want to name each of these columns in row 1. You're going to want to name them with something that's meaningful because you will not be able to see the data as you are merging these. And so you're going to have useful names. It's best to split things apart. You don't want to have city, state, and zip code all in one field. You want to have those separate because you're going to want to do things with them. You can add as many columns as you want if you want to have dates or months or years so that you know how old somebody is or when their birthday is. That works too. It's up to you. It's very, very versatile. Now that we have this open, we're going to grab the column header and stretch these so that they fit and display all our data. Looks good to me. I can see things. Now the first thing that you'll notice is that we have some columns over here, and if we try to double click on here and press 0, when we press enter, the 0 goes away. That's because this is a general field and it needs to be text to display these leading zeros. So I'm going to come down, I'm going to highlight all of this field, and I am going to say format cells and change this to text. And say OK. Now when I double click in here, I can press 0 and it will stay. I could also correct that up here and it will stay. And now let's just grab this whole field one more time, this whole range, and let's make them left justified. Doesn't that look nice? Although our goal is to ultimately print these out in label format suitable for mailing, we often want to print this type of thing out in row format when we are working or sharing our data. And in order to do that, there's a few things that we want to do. The first thing we want to do is format a print range. Let's just come down and highlight all the way over. Okay, let's get, and we are going to say format print range define, format print range edit, and we are going to add a $1 to repeat the rows. And what that's going to do is it's going to repeat our headings on every page, because sometimes it's kind of confusing. So we're going to say OK. Then we're going to go format and page and change the page to landscape. And on the sheet we are going to change it to fit print range to width and height. And then we want it to be 1 page wide, but we are going to make it 10 or 100 or 1,000 pages high because that's not going to be the limiting factor. We just want this to be 1 page wide, so we're going to say OK. And let's File, Print Preview, and look and see what we have just done. Page preview, that is. And you can see that we have 1 page, and it's 1 page wide. Okay, and it's all fitting on 1 page. But this title, first, last, address, 1, city, state, zip, email, that's going to repeat on every page because we defined that in our print range. Let's close this preview. Another thing that we want to do when we're working with this data is we're going to want to split the window, split, and what that does is that lets us come down here, and as we go down, the first row up here stays static so that we can see everything. That's very helpful when you're dealing with a large piece of data like this. And then one other big data trick that we're going to want to do is we are going to want to sort. That's something that you're always going to want to do with your large data. Okay, and I didn't go down quite far enough. I think it was 39 page rows. Make that 38 rows. We want to get all our data. We're going to say data, sort, and we have the range contains column labels set so that we can go and change this to last name, and then by first name, and say OK. Oh, now if I slide this scroll bar over, we can see that everybody is in alphabetical order. If we wanted to sort this in some other order, we're going to go highlight that again. Oh. Highlight that again, and again you've got to get all. Oh, I'm just wild today with my mouse. You're going to want to get all of the columns because otherwise things get scrambled, and you're going to say data, sort, and let's just change it by zip this time. Okay, and now we've got the zip codes of people, and that's the order that they're in instead of where are our zeros? Why are our zeros down at the bottom? Okay, the zeros are down at the bottom because they still think they're text. We're going to fix that in a moment. And after you've sorted, we're going to say save as, or save. And we're done.